It's September 2021, and I'm back. I've put on pants, I've washed my anus, and I am back to talk to you, my sneeze listeners. I am in pristine condition. You could eat off my nipples. I'm not suggesting you do. I don't have a kink that involves eating off of nipples. But if I did, I'm just saying, there's something about eating off of nipples that sounds appetizing to me now that I think about it. It's just, it's a good place to start consuming something. Nipples. Tasty, delicious nipples. They found a pig nipple in a Big Mac in England or something. I don't know how they determined it was a pig nipple. Maybe there were 6 of them. That occurs to me. It is a smoky, disgusting, hot summer that is over. I didn't see the blue sky. I'm back. I'm just going to talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. I'll tell you why. It's because I can't. I don't know what else to do. So I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to have standards. I'm just going to talk. So Nicki Minaj is talking about testicles. I talk about testicles. Fuck you, Nicki. Testicles is my department. I have 2 testicles. You have none that I know of. And if you did, they would not be as salty and as hangy as mine. Weighted just perfectly to swing in the wind. My testicles are a man's best friend and worst enemy in certain situations, especially when you're playing football as a kid. The Nicki Minaj thing just shows how fucked up the world is, right? It's a perfect picture of where we are when some jackass can say on Twitter that my cousin's friend got swollen testicles after he had the vaccine. Well, guess what, Nicki? My fucking testicles are swollen every day. There's a cure for it. Masturbation. Maybe a little bit of ice. Blue balls. Cure. Masturbation. Hole in the wall. Sex. These are things you can do to lower your anxiety and not be like me. I've had my shots, and now I want a third one. I'm starting to think about a third shot. Starting to think, well, they're talking people need a third shot. I'm fat. I'm middle-aged. I might need a third shot. Where's my shot? I might need one. They say I need one. Now I need to have one now. COVID-19. You know, the one that was 2 years ago? We're coming up on the 2nd anniversary of when it infected a human, when the bat, whatever it was doing, whether it was food, whether it would bit somebody, whether it bit another animal, I don't care. Bats are a necessary part of our ecosystem, but fuck you, bats. Honest to God, you fucked up my life. Fuck you. Fuck your stupid wings. Fuck your sonar or whatever the fuck it is. Fuck you. And thank you for eating mosquitoes. You know what? You didn't eat enough of them this summer. There was a lot of mosquitoes. So fuck you again, fucking bats. What are you doing if you're not eating mosquitoes? Spreading viruses? Dying on the street? Fuck you, bats. Fuck you and everybody who likes bats. Fuck Batman. Fuck you, Batman. Joe Rogan, same shit, different pile, is dead to me. Joe Rogan is dead to me. I was never a huge Joe Rogan fan. I let him slide. Let him slide. Now fuck you, Joe Rogan. Fuck you. You stupid fucker, fuck, stupid rich cocksucking fuck. Fuck you. Now I have to make this podcast explicit because it's very explicit. Let me explicitize myself better. Fuck you, Joe Rogan. You stupid fuck. You're part of the problem. People who are this whole thing has exposed how stupid so many people are, how borderline crazy so much of society is. How the hell do we make it this far? How the hell do we do anything? I'll tell you why. It's because we kept these stupid fucks in the closet. They didn't have a place to coalesce, to echo off each other, to find friends and then say, hey, maybe my stupid crazy thoughts that I have in my mom's basement are right. Because Joe over there on the internet thinks they are. And I got 16,000 likes on this thing, this crazy conspiracy theory. The world is fucked. You know the world is fucked. I know the world is fucked. What are we going to do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. We can't cure all these crazy motherfuckers. There's no pill to cure this shit. Well, there is. Not a pill. I guess, eventually COVID can mutate and only people who take vaccines will die. Well, do we want that? Is that ethical? I mean, we wouldn't let somebody who has a cognitive disability die because they're too stupid and unable to make a good decision. Are we going to let half of society die because they're too stupid? People don't have much patience for it. And besides, I think that if half society died, I wouldn't feel as smart. You could say whatever you want about me. And my friends make fun of me all the time. But I'm not an idiot. I would feel like more of an idiot if there was only smart people around. You know, maybe I'd be at the bottom of the barrel instead of somewhere in the middle. So yeah, it's like being a white supremacist. I'm an intellectual supremacist. I like to think that there's people stupider than me. So if they all die, then I don't feel smart anymore. So go get your fucking vaccines. We can't afford to have all the stupid people die. I went back to the gym. This is the nice thing about what's going on now. I'm fully vaccinated. COVID is out of control where I live, insanely so. But I belong to this clinic who has a gym, and the gym, they're only opening it to 2 people. It's a small gym, but it's a gym for fat people who don't want to go to a regular gym, or maybe can't afford to, maybe it's too ashamed to, maybe it's a combination of all the above. And I could do a better job. So that's what I'm doing. Trying to keep alive. I am probably 6 years away from being thin enough not to die of COVID, though. So I have to hope that the thing doesn't keep mutating and killing people, because I don't want to go. Norm Macdonald died a couple of days ago, and I took it pretty hard. I was lucky enough to see Norm. My friend bought my wife and I tickets when he was at the casino here, and there he was in flesh and blood. And you know, I was a modest Norm fan when he was on SNL and doing stand-up in the early 90s. But then, like many, I think, comedy people, he grew on me, especially with his late-night show, talk show appearances. And then revisiting some of the jokes, which didn't go over well on SNL. Some of them didn't go over well on SNL at the time. They were too dark. Became to really appreciate the guy and just how good of a stand-up comic he was. And Norm will be missed. I miss him. The man was not a brain surgeon when it came to the world. He said stupid things. He said the R word a lot. You listen to the WTF podcast, he used the R word like 50 times, literally, like a child, like a child in the 70s who didn't know any better, which is him, I guess. He was 61, a few years older than me. He'll be missed by a lot of people, and there's just, they don't build him like that. You know, my kids don't laugh at comedy the same way anymore. They laugh at TikTok, short form comedy, football in the groin shit. You know what I'm saying? Not well-crafted stuff, although they'll laugh at that too. They don't have the attention span for it anymore. It's a different world. It's like they don't watch movies because movies are long. They don't like jokes. They don't like comedy that takes time to evolve. And some of Norm's jokes took a long time to evolve. Although, you know, the moth joke was only 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I watched it the other day. It was only 3 minutes and 47 seconds. It wasn't as long as people would make you believe it is. I mean, people would say it went on, it was a 7-minute joke. It was 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's with a setup.
Connect with James on social media by searching Sneeze Show.
But man, could he craft a joke, and he worked on it and perfected it. And people might ask, James, why aren't you a stand-up comedian? You're sexy. You can speak. You're delusional in that you think you're funny. Why aren't you a stand-up comedian? I actually tried it once. Just once. It could have gone worse. I don't know how to rate it. I didn't get booed off the stage. People laughed. I didn't trust that they were actually laughing, though. I thought they were polite laughing. That's what I thought as a Canadian in Toronto. So I didn't believe it. And I said some shocking things. Because it was at a gay bar. They had an open night at a gay bar. It was the only open mic that I was let into immediately, even though I had a national TV show at the time. I went there and went to check out where the place was, so I knew. And there was a sex shop next door. So I went in, and it was not a gay sex shop, but they catered to more gay people than just heterosexual husband and wife marital aids. And there were some things there I was quite startled by and turned them into comedy. A giant, instead of a dildo, it was a giant arm of like a construction worker that you apparently used the whole thing. I turned it into comedy somehow, or tried to. And there wasn't that many people there. But the point is, I cannot do something over and over again to perfect it. So to do one joke and work on it for a year until it's perfect, it's just not my thing. I mean, I could never be a stand-up comedian is what I'm saying. Although I admire the ones who are good at it because they're damn hard workers, and Norm was that. I think he worked very, very hard on his jokes, and I really liked him. My heart rate monitor at the gym, I lost the screws for it. I had to put in a new battery, and I lost the screws, so I sort of bent it together, and I have this old heart rate monitor on my arm, and to tell me what my heart rate is, percentage-wise, because I try to keep it under 80% until I'm in better fitness, so I don't have a heart attack and die, because that's counterproductive. You get in shape, you do some cardio, you do some strength, and you try to be healthier. Dying is counterproductive. The thing is, I can't turn off the beeping. In the settings, it says the beeping's off, but it beeps. It beeps all the time, including when it beeps like hell when it says there's no heart rate. So I know it could be a function of telling me that I'm dead. So I've got that going for me. If I die, I will know. Other people will know because of the beeping. And the beeping's really annoying. It may prevent people from saving my life. It's that annoying. Yeah, my neighbor had a heart attack. He's older than me. He's an old man. Well, most of you will say I'm an old man, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Everything hurts in my body. Everything hurts. I don't like bending anymore. Bending's I buy things to help pick things up because bending is it's too much trouble. Gravity is counterproductive. If I could fill myself with helium and be lighter, I would. I've spent dozens of hours in the pool because the fatter you are in a pool, the lighter you are in reality. So the fatter you are, fat floats, basically weightless. Basically going into outer space when a man as fat as me goes into the pool is like being in outer space. In fact, your spine grows. That's you spend too much time in there, none of these shrivel up, none of the things shrink, but you will actually have a longer spine if you're as fat as me. So that's interesting. I like that. I would, gravity has been bad to me, and getting old sucks. People are chugging a horse dewormer, right? They're thinking, now are these people who have COVID who are chugging the horse dewormer, which apparently tastes terrible? As you can imagine, any deworming paste is not going to be appetizing. I don't care if you're a horse, a cow, a human being, it's just not going to be appetizing. Anything that kills worms is going to taste bad. That's all there is to it. So people are eating this paste. I don't know if they have COVID, though. Do they have COVID? Okay, they get symptoms and they take the horse dewormer thinking they'll get better, or are they just jackasses who are taking the horse dewormer so they can live their lives and not have to worry about COVID? Either way, it's killing some of them. And either way, horses can't get their fucking worm medication. They're rubbing their asses on trees. They're getting itchy. Can you imagine the size of a horse worm? It's big. Horse penis, big. Horse worm, probably just as big. Huge. Probably like a snake. Probably like a small garter snake. That's what's coming out of the horse's ass. Think about that. It's Greek mythology there. And they can't. Worms. Bad. And why do you think worm medication would kill a virus? Can you imagine having a horse worm? I mean, that's the one thing that I would do to take horse deworming medication is if I actually had a horse worm. If I was sleeping with a horse, not sexually, sleeping in a barn. Say I passed out in a barn and the worm came out of the horse's ass and into me. Plausible. And then I had horse worms. Can you imagine having horse worms? I would then eat the horse worm paste if that's what it took. I mean, I would do anything to get rid of a horse worm because it would take up my whole ass, right? One worm would be like, passing a big stool trying to get out because we're talking big. I assume big. Horse-sized worms. See, the farmer knows when the horse has worms, so they go and buy medication, right? I mean, they don't just assume. So what's coming out of the horse's ass? A fucking worm. Big worm. Or the horse is rubbing its ass on the tree. It's not a happy horse. You can't swat flies when you're a horse, and you can't scratch your ass. So, if I had a horse, I'd have a tree nearby for scratching, because that would be just sad. Watching TV the other day, watching some baseball, which I now use to pass my time and not watch the news because I watch too much news. And if you watch news through a pandemic, you'll know that it can be a downer. So I stopped watching it. Fuck it. Fuck you, news. And I noticed that adult diaper commercials are getting sexier. Have you noticed that? No, it could be my age because the people in adult diaper commercials are closer to my age now. I'm not thinking... And they are... Well, they're trying to make them sexy. They're trying to make adult diapers sexy. And it's kind of disturbing. I think that a lot of people get fetishes based off of this. And that'll be problematic. It's too bad that there's a need for adult diapers. Maybe it catches the horseworms. I don't know. Why do people, they're incontinent. I hope not to be incontinent. Maybe they're just lazy, but if I was lazy, I wouldn't get an adult diaper. I'd get one of those space diapers that you can wear for hours and hours. I remember one day my kid filled his diaper so bad that it just dropped on its own. It was like nature's way of saying, time to change. Just filled it to gravity could take no more, and the Huggy fell to the ground like a little bell went off. Ding! Ready. I'm not looking forward to getting old. You know, adult diapers aside, it sucks. It sucks. It also sucks because I know that in 30, 40 years, they're going to have a cure for oldness. They're going to have a cure for everything. Make my lips soft again and my eyeballs white. Everything. They'll have a cure for everything. Bending will become easier. Or they'll have robots that do it for you. Elon Musk is building a robot that looks humanoid, and he's the guy who warned us against AI stuff, right? He said AI is going to take over the world. We got to be very careful with it, because once the computer becomes all-knowing, they'll decide like we're cockroaches. We're stupid. I mean, a little piece of bacteria, what are we going to do with it? We don't care. It's not smart. Well, neither are we compared to all-knowing computers. I'm disturbed with the humanoid. Yes, I believe there should be sex robots one day. I believe that serves a purpose. It cheers people up, you know. However, I don't think robots should look humanoid because I'd get bored. I mean, if my robot was doing the dishes and looked vaguely humanoid, I would get aroused. Right? Vacuuming? Aroused. My Roomba doesn't turn me on, but a humanoid robot might. And I'm kind of disturbed by that. Especially if they cannot function, but as a sex robot, as a pleasure model, as they would say on Blade Runner. I don't know. Maybe it'll change my adult diaper for me. Maybe it'll spank me afterwards if I request it properly. So there's a study out that says a hot dog, and this is disturbing for me, will take us 36 minutes off of your life. Why? Because I've eaten a lot of hot dogs. And you might say, okay, good for you, James. You've eaten a lot of hot dogs. You were a kid once. You were a young adult. Well, I'm still eating them. Not every day, but I still have the occasional dog and consider it a meal. I do them really well. Onions, toasted bun, some cheese, and an X-Lax afterwards. So a hot dog takes 36 minutes off your life. Did some rough numbers, and it was about 14 years for me. Okay? So if I've never eaten a hot dog in my life, there's got to be other things. Like, was a Big Mac take off? I've had a few of those. If a hot dog takes off 30 minutes, doesn't a Big Mac take off an hour? Pizza? Slice of pizza? I've eaten a lot of shit in my life. If you count, if the ratio to minutes to hot dog all made sense, then I would be dead. Long time ago. 30, 29 maybe. So I don't buy it. Everything I've eaten is shit. Everything. I've had a couple of vegetables. The other day, my wife brought me a carrot out of the garden that she pulled out of the garden. She was making sandwiches for everybody. She pulled a carrot out of the garden, washed it, peeled it, gave it to me. And I felt the guilt of a vegetarian eating a cow that was just slaughtered yesterday. You know, like, this was a living thing. And I decided I needed a carrot. And now it was happy growing in the garden, literally minutes before. And now it's in my mouth getting chewed to death. I did honestly have those feelings. Is it right to eat vegetables? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe it is. Maybe it is not. I don't know. is an ethical question that should be studied in universities around the world. I don't know. How did they come up with 36 minutes off your life for a hot dog? Well, it makes no sense. But from now on, I'll be eating hot dogs on a treadmill. The local cities here where I live are studying wastewater for COVID, right? So they take samples of the wastewater, that is your sewage treatment plant, and they see how much COVID's in there per, say, scoop. Scoop some poop, count the COVID. I would like to say that my COVID is not in that the shit is clean that I produce, okay? And there's no COVID in it. I'm pretty sure that my shit is cleansing other people's shit and is making COVID go away. My shit would kill COVID. So it's a wonder they have any samples at all. Once my dump gets into the system, it would kill everything else. It's including rats. Anything that's in there, viruses, anything, my shit would kill. This is a fact, people. This is not I've done my own research. This is science, hard science. And let's face it, common sense. So, speaking of my wife, she brought home some Cheetos Kraft Dinner. That is to say, a macaroni and cheese dinner box made by the good people who make Cheetos. Cheetos. What can you call them? It tasted like radiation. Not only was it occasionally tasting like a Cheeto, which was disgustipating, it tasted horrible. It tasted like, I don't know, asbestos with salt. Like it just, there was nothing good about it. And left your face orange afterwards. That is an experiment with food companies that has gone bad. And fuck you, Cheetos, for lending your name to a macaroni product that is certainly going to kill and dye the intestines of millions of children around the world. I noticed there was a Hollywood celebrity that was a norm who passed away recently. And they said, so-and-so passed away, according to his publicist. And I thought, as a person who is a failed entertainer myself, that would be a good thing to have in my obituary. Now, I thought about just saying that in my obituary, that pre-writing my obituary and saying James passed away unpeacefully, anxiously, with his family surrounding him, sobbing, according to his publicist. So either I hire a publicist for one job to announce my death, to make me sound legitimate, or I just write it and say, according to his publicist, I can write anything I want, pretty much, anything that's not anti-Semitic. James Whittingham, shot dead, according to his publicist. James Whittingham, impaled with a spear, dead, according to his publicist. James Whittingham, dead after cracking his head open falling down the stairs, according to his publicist. James Whittingham, dead after falling asleep in his pool, according to his publicist. Maybe I'll have a variety of obituaries. Why have one? Why not have a week's worth of obituaries after you die and a different version of your death each time? Will the newspaper let me do that? Can they stop me? Does it have to come from a funeral home before they'll publish? It probably does. Now that I think about it, a funeral home probably is the only people who can publish an obituary. Otherwise, I would have published the obituary of my friend Jay or Kevin. A long time ago. Kevin, dead from sucking cock, according to James Whittingham's publicist. Well, I'm James Whittingham, and that's it for this time. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you again soon. We'll be back with more of Sneeze. And I'm going to damn well keep experimenting because I'm James Whittingham and you're not. Or are you?
Thanks for listening to Sneeze. Spread the love. Tell your friends.